What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel. Today we're here for a new Madden 23 realistic rebuild. We are starting from the fallout of the 2023 NFL Draft, and we're going to go 5 seasons into the future to try and win a Super Bowl. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a requested team in the Jacksonville Jaguars. Very interesting team that you're going to assume is on the ascension. Had some okay picks. I think it's fair to say in the 2023 draft, they got Anton Harrison, who's likely going to start at tackle. You brought in a nice running back and Tank Bigsby from Auburn to pair with Travis Etienne. They got Brenton Strange, big-ass tight end out of Penn State. Maybe more so because Evan Ingram's only on a 1-year deal, so it can be a tight end of the future type player. We got Parker Washington out of Penn State, nice little developmental slot wide receiver behind Christian Kirk, similar skill sets. And on the defensive side of the ball, they got Yasir Abdullah, outstanding athlete. Who I'm not exactly sure how they're going to utilize him, probably more so as a pass rusher, but they could kind of get a little hybrid. And they got Ventrell Miller from my Florida Gators, and maybe the best value pick in my opinion was landing Antonio Johnson, the safety slash nickel corner at a Texas A&M, where that's actually where we're going to have him start as a rookie as our starting slot corner. So an interesting draft class for a roster that I would like to see if we can, build something special to go on and win a Super Bowl. Doug Peterson has that pedigree, has that acumen. And we saw with the development of Trevor Lawrence, a little bit of a breakout for Etienne. Christian Kirk was very surprising when he got the payday that he did from the Jags coming over from the Arizona Cardinals. And I think he justified that contract for sure. They got Calvin Ridley for like pennies on the dollar for what kind of big play-making ability that he could bring to an offense. The emergence of Evan Ingram, kind of living up to the hype after a couple down years with the New York Giants. I think the offensive line is, for the most part, it's a work in progress, but it's solid. Look at the rest of the key pieces on the defensive side of the ball. We got Josh Allen and Travon Walker coming off the edges. Very high ceiling type players. Devin Lloyd going into year 2. I think Cisco has some upside. Tyson Campbell broke out last season. Great height, weight, speed corner out of Georgia. So, I'm looking at this team like probably need to show the front 3 a little bit of love. I think Devon Hamilton should be solid, but probably need a couple new 3-4 edge rushers. Maybe need to get a little bit more youth injected beyond Tyson Campbell in the secondary. But I think this is a very interesting rebuild, and it's a team that's difficult to go on. They're not a team that dominates in the sim. We've done, Raiders, we've done Falcons for our last couple rebuilds, and we know that those are overpowered playbooks. At the end of the day, not quite the case here in Jacksonville. So I think we got our work cut out for us to bring this team to a Super Bowl. But if we can do it, it's going to be quite a tip of the cap moment. As, let's be honest, Jags franchise overall, one of the more lowly franchises in the NFL, and a Super Bowl will certainly elevate him. So let's see, through 5 years, is this man good enough? Is he going to be the guy that can bring the Jags to a Super Bowl? Let's find out. So around the midway point of year number 1, 5-4, not the best record, maybe slightly underperforming, especially seeing the Colts at 8-1, the Titans at 9-1, when I would make the argument, at least on paper, that our Jags team is better than that. So we're kind of taking our time here to put it all together. We do have a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense. So, it's all our losses have been kind of similar to that week 10 loss. Very close one-score type deals. But we're going to need some of those to go our way if we have any expectations of trying, I guess I'd say at this point, to squeak into the playoffs via the wild card spot. But let's take a look at some of our contracts here. Also, I have no idea what the salary cap situation is going to look like for the Jags. And it looks, all right. Definitely not ideal, but I think we can work with it. Especially a lot of these guys aren't necessarily going to be top tier priorities. Calvin Ridley, well, you don't make that trade with the Falcons with the intention of him just kind of being a 1-year deal. So we'll get him on a 3-year and it's reasonable. Didn't have to overpay. He's happy for the second chance. Evan Ingram, I actually think, honestly, on a 4-year deal, keep him at least 32. Not brutal, especially, maybe if Brenton Strange had a dev trait, I would be against that. But I think Evan Ingram can definitely be our tight end for the remainder of this rebuild. Josh Allen playing on a franchise tag. He's really good. We'll see if we can get him on a player-friendly deal. Ugh, we're going to have to overpay for him. I really don't want to let him walk as a superstar pass rusher. All right, we got Ingram sign, only took us a little bit more, but I think Josh Allen's going to be a decently more contract. So we're going to go bump this up to a 6-year, 129. He still wants more. What about 133? Hey, there we go. A great opportunity here, actually. 2 weeks after we sign that extension, he's looking to become an X factor here against the Houston Texans. The defense can show up, or he in particular shows up on the road. That is going to be an X factor pass rusher which I have no problem whatsoever having $133 million tied down to an X Factor. We get the win, but it was a little bit of a shootout, 34-28. Let's take a look. God damn it. Would have been nice. And at the end of year one, we're kind of continuing the trajectory that the Jags have set, like in real life in 2022. They're definitely a team on the ascension. We come 11-6, which is a good record. Unfortunately, the rest of the division was pretty good, so we are technically third in our division. But we still made the playoffs and have an opportunity to run this gauntlet here. We have the third offense and fifth defense overall. I guess within that, though, if you look at the passing and rushing and on both, it's not the best. I don't know how all that comes, but we score a lot of points and we don't give up a lot of points at the end of the day. And you know what I like to say, it doesn't matter how the sausage is made, at the end of the day, we just gotta get the job done. Trevor Lawrence is playing like the hyped quarterback prospect that he was coming out of Clemson. Arguably one of the greats. He gets put up in that upper echelon of Andrew Luck, John Elway, Peyton Manning. T-Law is right there, 4,600 yards, 42 touchdowns. Travis Etienne broke out. No more James Robinson, no problem. 1,300 yards, 18 touchdowns for Etienne. On the receiving standpoint, 1,200 yards, 9 tutties for Christian Kirk. Ingram went for over 100 catches, 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns. Zay Jones, 8 more than Calvin Ridley. We'll give Ridley the one mulligan, though. He just missed a year of football, so, you know, getting back up to speed after sitting out a season. 71 catches, 850 yards, 8 touchdowns is not that bad. We definitely want him to become more of a bigger part of this offense as this rebuild goes on. Defensively, Olukun and Devin Lloyd both go over 100 tackles on the season. We got 18 sacks for our new franchise pass rusher, Josh Allen. I love to see that. 8 sacks for the young, developing Trevon Walker, which are pretty good numbers, all things considered. Olukun, 5 picks. Darius Williams, 5 picks. Tyson Campbell continues his breakout with 5 interceptions. Love seeing all of that. Grass to the board. Grass to Doug Peterson. Aaron Rodgers in this world did not leave Green Bay and somehow won the freaking MVP. Trevor Lawrence coming in at number 7. Looking for our Jags. Josh Allen, 5th in Defensive Player of the Year. Pretty cool. Trevor Lawrence was the 3rd quarterback. Oh, not a lot of respect to our Jags. Josh Allen was runner-up for Linebacker of the Year. Darius Williams wins Defensive Back of the Year. Interesting. I mean, for a veteran, I mean, that could bode well for him going up to a superstar dev, maybe extending his career here in Jacksonville just a little bit. But it's year 1. I'm not going to say that we're, you know, a trope in my last couple of rebuilds, because we've been doing teams that have good playbooks, is like, oh yeah, we're ahead of schedule. Not necessarily that's the case here in Jacksonville. I think this is, you know, we're a fringe playoff team that needs to find a way to take the franchise as a whole to the next step. And it's not going to start here year 1, as we get on the wrong end of a Josh Allen ass whooping. 42-14. Not even really that competitive. The lights were too bright for Trevor Lawrence. Did not play particularly well. Where on the other side of the football, Josh Allen had an outstanding game. But we'll dust ourselves off. We're only going to get better. I'm not panicking at all. Maybe a little bit, but not a lot. At the end of year 1, the Chargers defeat the Panthers in the Super Bowl. Always like highlighting anytime it's not a playbook-driven Super Bowl. Looking at our squad as we close out the year, Travis Etienne goes from star up to a superstar dev. Evan Ingram, with his outstanding season for a tight end, goes from superstar and makes that jump up to an X Factor. His career's kind of coming full circle here in Jacksonville. Every other dev trait remains the same. On the defensive side, I don't think we lost any dev traits. Both Darius Williams and Tyson Campbell go from star to superstar, taking a big-time jump. Andre Sisco goes from normal up to a star. I think Olukun goes from star to superstar. Devin Lloyd's really kind of the only surprising guy statistically. Probably had an opportunity to go up a dev trait, did not. He's still stuck on that normal dev. Sandwich between Olukun at superstar and Muma, also part of that same draft class, who just flip those devs. That'd be nice. But yeah, no one went down. We are, even though we got embarrassed in the playoffs, this team, developmental-wise, still absolutely headed in the right direction. We don't have a crazy amount of salary cap, plus it's only a matter of time we have to pay Trevor Lawrence. So given the landscape of our roster, in terms of needs, we need like a 3-4 defensive end. And kind of look at the players that are available. There are also guys that are getting a little stale to be using. Derek Brown, Ed Oliver. Multiple times I've been using these guys. I always like to spice it up a little bit. So I'm going to put the challenge on myself. We're going to save that salary cap. We're going to have it roll over. Also, I think that's probably just best situation anyways for this team to keep our talent in-house. But we're going to put the pressure on ourselves to hit on the draft. All right, here's actually some clarity on that. We're going to pick up the 5th-year option. God damn it, fix this fucking idiot. I couldn't figure out a way to get Trevor Lawrence. What an idiot. Fix this shit. Anyways, we got 2 more years without having to pay $300 million. So at least we got 2 more years to worry about the contract. All right, so here we are at the draft. I said first round, we need our 3-4 defensive end. I got down to 3 players. I think I know which one. I'm going to lay the landscape here. We got Mike Beal, 6'4", 305. 3 Bs and a C. Combine, not bad, not great. You know, the bench press looks good, but bench press is not the be-all, end-all. We have, you know, Teague here looks solid. Pettis was another guy who looked interesting when I was kind of going through the players. Double B, double C, 6'4", with, again, pretty good combine, all things considered. But I think the guy that ticks the most boxes here, it's a little bit of a reach, but we have Antoine Bennett, 6'6", 316, double B, double C, with a combine at 6'6", running the 3rd fastest, having the 3rd most bench press reps. Just an outstanding athlete, and we've been burned the last couple of rebuilds, just not getting our guys when we see them. Hoping, like, right now, old rebuild, last 2 rebuilds, I would have tried to get this guy in the 2nd round. We grab him now, and wish we fucking waited. No. All right, let's try to make this one up. You can make the argument our 3rd corner spot could be interesting right now. That 3rd nickel was preoccupied by Antonio Johnson, our safety, but he's probably going to be our starting safety now, so we need to look for that 3rd corner. We got Johnny Northrup. B-press, B-zone, C-man, 5'11", 194, with, you know, a decent combine. That guy's kind of looking, you know, elite acceleration, elite agility, 4.38 at his pro day. Just have a depth trade, please. Thank you! Maybe a build on the trench here. We got Rocky Hurst, guy that we scouted. Looks pretty good. Elite speedy, just a great athlete. Want to gamble on the depth trait there, potentially. Yeah, hellacious athlete. 84 acceleration, 80 speed, 89 strength. For a 290 D tackle. That fits our scheme. We're drafting the fastest player available at wide receiver here in Travis Harvey. Usually it works out pretty well. He's probably going to be like a 70, 71, 72. We'll take that value. Look at this fullback. We're round 6. It says A lead block. I don't even know if we utilize a fullback, but this guy here, elite strength, pretty much everything you're looking for in a modern day. We got Lorenzo Neal, 2.0 here. And another just outlier type player. This might be like a generational kicker. I mean, we got A awareness, A kick accuracy. Those are like the 2 that you get. Like, okay, I'm interested. And then when you go to the physicals, he has elite kick power. This is like the greatest perfect kicking player. We got Justin Tucker's regen. I think here, let's go to our draft. Our kicker, that kicker might be our best player. I think we had a damn good draft class. Antoine Bennett, a little bit of a wet fart, him being a normal dev, but he's a 76 normal dev, so that is a really, really good starting point for him. We're going to move him to, I think it's right defensive end, and see just kind of what that does to his rating. Florida Gator boy. Ooh, okay. A little bit of a hit, but we're still fine. Northrup, hidden dev, 75 at corner. Hurst, 71, hidden dev at D tackle. But he's also going to be a defensive end in our scheme, and I wonder if he's going to take a big hit. Maybe not. Maybe different skill sets. Obviously, he's a little bit better of an athlete, so maybe he will survive. Only a 1-point hit. Harvey, our speedster, 70. Whiffed here on the guard, but we got a 75 fullback, and our kicker, 78 hidden dev. Give me the freaking superstar. 99 kick power, 83 accuracy out the gate. Top 10 kicker out the gate. Midway point of year number 2, and we're 3-3, which is a little bit below where I think we probably should be as an 85 overall team. But, you know, we're a well-rounded squad, pretty good. No glaring weaknesses, and I guess we're only a game back for first place in the AFC South, all things considered. Take a look at our contracts. We get a lot of money, which makes a lot of sense, because we're still playing on the rookie contract of T-Law. So we need to make sure we disperse these funds accordingly. I'll tell you right now, Darius Williams, I'll give him a 1-year deal. He's been playing well. He's one of those guys I feel like even if it's like a 73, 74, whatever he's going to regress down to, he'll still be like a solid, you know, depth option, if you will. All right, I like Cisco's development. We'll start here. See if we can get him on a 3-year, $18 million deal, which we do. Cam Robinson's an interesting one. I like to run my lineman into the ground, but I'm also I don't really know if I want to overpay for a normal dev that has just no interest in re-signing here. Might be able to get better on the open market. Maybe he changes his tune a little bit come later in the season. Zay Jones, again, we can get probably younger at that spot. Brandon Stripp, on the other hand, run this guy on the ground. Give him a 2-year deal. I pretty much want him here till he retires. You have Tyson Campbell, who is broken out nicely as a superstar corner, living out to the potential. Probably one of the most underrated corners in the NFL, honestly, all things considered. So we'll get him locked in 6 years for the remainder of this rebuild. Olakun at linebacker. I mean, he's showing no real signs of slowing down, so we'll reward him with a 4-year deal. And, yeah, we'll just kind of wait and see for everybody else. Interesting story change here. Antoine Bennett, our first-round pick, 76, but stuck on that normal dev. Getting a potential breakout scenario here to get that start dev against the Jets. We're struggling to find some consistency. It feels like we win a game, lose a game, win a game, lose a game, lose 2 games, win 1 game. Need to get a roll here. Fuck, did not get it there. But at least, silver lining, Bennett, our first-round pick, it did get a dev trade. And obviously with the amount of reps that he's getting, if we can find a way to get him into the defensive rookie of the year conversation, we might be able to get twofer and end him with a Goldie boy on the dev trade as in a losing effort. Full kudos. ETN, 97 yards rushing, 2 rushing touchdowns, 85 yards receiving, and a receiving touchdown. Big time game from him. And at the end of year 2, kind of a blip in the radar. Top 5 offense. Not really a brutal defense, but we go 8-9. Now, not to confuse anybody, but because we had to sim offline the first year, this is technically year 3, even though it's only year 2, but it's technically year 3 of this sim, and we already know what happened. Year 3 is always just the broken, stupid year that never makes any sense. So here in year 2, very disappointing 8-9 for Jacksonville, but I'm pretty optimistic that this is just going to be a minor blip in the radar, and we are going to be back better than ever to close things out. Trevor Lawrence was solid, 4,800 yards, 35 touchdowns, 8 picks. We got 14 and 18 for ETN, kind of copy and paste of what he hit last year. Also, shout out to our fullback. That was like a 75. 7 vultures. I respect that. I appreciate that. 12 and 11 for Calvin Ridley. So last year was a little bit of a down year. His first year back in football. This year leads the team in receiving, kind of like what we're hoping for. Christian Kirk went for 12 and 4, 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns for Evan Ingram. Even Zay Jones got after it a little bit as our wide receiver 4. Olakun and Lloyd both going over 100 tackles, 10.5 sacks for Von Walker, 8.5 for Josh Allen. So a little bit surprising in terms of production. 4 picks, Antonio Johnson. So he's thriving now as our starting strong safety. Northrop, the rookie there, 2 picks. Bennett, we were kind of hoping we might have a chance to swing a double dev trade. I don't think he's winning Defensive Rookie of the Year with 7 TFLs and 4 sacks, but I've seen crazier things. Looking at the yearly awards, because we're pretty much just going to close the season out after this. Nothing there for the MVP race. Travis Etienne was 3rd in Offensive Player of the Year voting. Pretty cool. For the rest of the individual, hey, you know what? Shout out to my fullback for coming 6th in Offensive Rookie of the Year. Northrop coming in at 3, Bennett at 5 for Defensive Rookie of the Year. And for the rest of the individual awards, nothing for our squad. But I know the pressing matter on everybody's mind, which we're going to sim here just to the offseason. What is the dev trade of our kicker? So to down here, we're hoping that we're not going to see a massacre to our dev traits. And, oh, no. The most important player lost his dev trait. Trevor Lawrence regresses down to a star. How? He played well. 38 touchdowns. How do you lose a dev? 35 and 8. Sorry, almost 5,000 yards. 35 and 8. You lose a dev trait. This is usually where I might have to interject because the dev trait regression is not always perfectly tweaked and tuned, but you know what? We'll leave that a little bit of added challenge here. Maybe it'll be a kicking ass for Trevor Lawrence, play like an MVP next season. On the defensive side, in terms of dev traits, Josh Allen gained an X Factor, Olakun gained an X Factor, Antonio Johnson gained a superstar, and Northrop, our 2nd round pick corner, he was a star and just straight up got his dev trait increased. How? How does Trevor, obviously it's apples and oranges, different positions, but how does Trevor Lawrence lose his dev And then that gets a... All right, moment of truth. What's the kicker? Let's go! Generational kicker! Jeremy Taylor. Let's go. For free agency, we're going to double down here on the offensive line. Trey Smith and AVT. No other competition on AVT. Trey Smith has a lot. I'm not going to lie. One of these guys will stay at guard. One of these guys is probably going to get pushed to left tackle. If we can get Trey Smith, he likely will be left tackle. We did not. We got AVT, who likely will actually keep his spot there at guard. Probably slide him over to left guard. Damn. Kind of wish Christian Darrisaw was here at left tackle. He's still here. Just more so because I don't want to use a lot of premier draft picks on offensive linemen. So, yeah, we'll bring in Darrisaw at left tackle, and we got AVT at guard, which kind of allows us to go almost BPA for the draft. All right, draft time. Pick 15. My top player available was a wide receiver. We don't even really need one, but he looked pretty damn good, to be honest with you. He already went off the board. So, we're, again, honestly, all of our focus, I think, for me, shifts to finding the answer at defensive line. Hit late, I guess. Better late than never. Last year on Bennett, our first-round pick. Normal dev, got a star dev. Good Devon Hale at nose tackle, but we need another defensive end. And we got to see if we can try to find a game changer. And really, there's 3 guys that I've kind of keyed in on here. We have Darquez Bonds, defensive tackle, 6'4", 310, double A, B, and C. Combine, pretty good. All things considered, lots of greats. No elites. We love to always see the elites. They don't always exist, though. We have Danny Hilton, who actually kind of reminds me a lot of Bennett last year. 3 Bs and a C, 6'6", 313. Didn't go to the combine. That's always that little bit of like, He also has elite acceleration, elite strength. But I would say just there's so much uncertainty about the type of athlete that he, or the type of player that he kind of could be when those guys skip. I always felt like they've dialed it back. It used to be the guys who didn't attend the combine were almost always like an X factor or a superstar player. It seems like now they're almost like kind of a little bit of a head case. And the last on the outlier here is Benjamin Miner, 6'6", 300 pounds. He also looks pretty good, has some elite traits. But I feel like he's kind of guy I might be able to wait and get him in the second round. Don't know if I want to double dip at the position. I mean, really, where else? I did scout corners just because Darius Williams is not getting any younger. He literally lost 2 dev traits. He's down to a normal. But there's not really like a corner that's screaming, come draft me, right? There's a couple solid guys. Like, literally, there's no one here that's really going, I'm going to be the guy that's going to make you guys into absolute contenders right away. I really actually think the only guy that would have done that would have been the wide receiver that I wanted, that you guys don't know anything about because I was just kind of keeping it to myself because I didn't think it was even attainable. He was projected to go top 10. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we'll go with Danny Hilton just because there's the unknown, and if it sucks, maybe we come back and double dip on maybe Miner. And of course, there's no dev trade. Almost like it's destiny. Miner is the top available defensive tackle, and by God, we are going to get this defensive line right. And at least he rolls with a hidden dev. 86 acceleration, 93 strength at 6'6", 300 pounds. What a stud. And take a little peep here at our draft class. So Danny Hilton, 75 normal dev. Miner, 75 hidden dev. But honestly, pretty similar players. Just we know, we got a type. We have a type, even going in like the last year. I got a nice hidden dev center in the 3rd round. Brad Peters with like some of the biggest strength I've seen. 92 base strength up to a 96. This guy's an absolute powerhouse. Just some solid depth on the interior. Rest of the draft kind of butt cheeks, to be honest with you. I do want to just see out of curiosity, it was a wide receiver out of Clemson that I was kind of hoping might fall to us. Sammy Irwin, 77. Didn't have ridiculous speed, but everything else looked good. The spec, 98 spec catch. Yeah, that'll do her. What's the dev trade here? The greatest Jag that never was. It's probably going to be Superstar X Factor or something stupid like that. Superstar, so an absolute baller. I did ponder potentially letting you guys meet him by trading up to go get him, but, we got a couple D tackles now. Hopefully we sure up that D-line. The midway point of year number 3, and we're 4-3. Game back in the AFC South, the competitive AFC South. We're coming off a nice Week 7 victory over the division-leading Houston Texans, 35-30, in which T-Law, man on a mission this year after getting robbed of his superstar dev trade. 5 touchdowns in a gotta-have-it type game early in the season. Let's take a look at some contracts, though. It's going to be time to pay the piper. Would be nice if losing that dev trade made it a little more affordable for Trevor Lawrence. Not necessarily the case. $240 million. But I have no problem paying for that. Him and Doug Peterson is just a match made in heaven. We have Travis Etienne here, who's been incredible, so I'm going to give him the best offer I possibly can. He still wants more. He's greedy sumbitch, but I don't blame him. Trying to get as much as he can, and we will pay pretty much whatever he's looking for. Devon Hamilton has been solid on the D-line. Give him maybe a 2-year deal, even though that's where we've been drafting. He's probably been the only guy that's, can be counted on a little bit there. Luke Fortner's been solid, but the fact that we just drafted a hidden dev center probably could make that change and just have a center on a rookie contract. Devin Lloyd just can't get a dev trait, but I mean, he's been consistent, over 100 tackles, no real weakness to his game. So we'll get him locked in. We'll come back for ETN, and still, after paying Trevor Lawrence, probably have around $50 million to spend and improve this team in the offseason. At the end of year 3, the second time we've made the playoffs, third place in our division. 10-7, still looking for our first AFC South title, but a little bit of a grind here. I appreciate that, I respect it. We embrace that. Looking at the yearly award winners, nothing there for our squad. I assume, come on, I just want to see Trevor Lawrence light the league up. 6th in yards, 5th in touchdowns. Give this man his superstar dev trait back. That's all I'm asking, and he's looking like he's going to be right on the cusp. Will he, won't he? Hopefully he will. ETN, solid. 1,400 yards, 10 touchdowns. Christian Kirk, absolutely 8. 1,400 yards, 13 touchdowns, 11 and 12 for Evan Ingram. Calvin Ridley, man, what the hell? Bipolar. Last year was our best receiver, but years 1 and 3 been a little bit underwhelming from our go-to wide receiver. Olakun and Lloyd, again, respectively, getting 100 times. Ooh, Olakun, 6 picks, too. Great covered ability. 10.5 sacks, Josh Allen. 10 from Antoine Bennett. 6.5 Travon Walker. And so Minor, right? He was the 2nd round pick at defensive end. He was our hidden dev pick at defensive end. Superstar dev. Let's go. This guy wasn't playing a whole lot. As soon as I saw that he was superstar dev at midway point of the season, got him into the starting lineup there. Got to try to strap the Rockets on him. Get him, to a high rating as possible, because we're going to need that down the stretch. Yearly awards MVP goes to something known as a Sean Kramer. All right. T-Lock coming to number 8. That rests for the individual awards. All right. The Jags just don't exist, I guess. Honestly, though, as long as we can just get Trevor Lawrence back up to his superstar, that's like really our goal here for year 3. Anything else in the playoffs, maybe get a couple wins would be cool. But it's all about T-Lock. Man, I don't know. I'm a little worried. Team's very good, but we're losing dev traits when we shouldn't be losing them. We're losing games when we shouldn't be losing them. And usually those two things are not a recipe for success. Definitely not a recipe for postseason success, as the Jets are just an absolute juggernaut in this rebuild. But we sim to this point to see what the dev traits look like. Did T-Law get back his superstar? Which he did. ETN lost his. But I'd much rather have the abilities on my quarterback, all things considered. Christian Kirk goes up to a superstar. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we're up 2 superstars to 0. Or 2 superstars to 1, sorry. So, I mean, we'll take that. On the defensive side, we got, fucking great. My D-tackle lost his dev. That was a superstar. Cool. Travon Walker lost his dev. Cool. All right. For free agency, just really went after the big fish, adding Chris Olave to the wide receiver room. See if that, we still haven't really had the go-to guy on the outside. We got Christian Kirk eating in the slot, but it's been a mixed bag with Calvin Ridley on the outside. So maybe bringing in someone like Chris Olave will just raise the talent of that room so they all eat a lot better. All right, so looking at the draft, I feel like that's what we need. We went kind of light in free agency because really it was like just Chris Olave, but I do think a big area of improvement for our squad is taking a look potentially at the secondary. My best player available in this draft is Brandon Webb, 6'2" corner with AA, double B, elite jumping, elite. He's ticking off all the boxes, but the mock draft had him going at pick 10. So we decided to halt the draft here at pick 9 to see what it would take. Move out with the Colts. I want this guy. Now, trade within the division. Probably got to pay a divisional rival price. But at this point in the rebuild, as long as it's not involving players and it might just be, selling future drafts, I have no problem whatsoever. They want Olave, Travon Walker, or those picks. I'm going to make that trade every day of the week. But now the pressure's on with our top knee-beating corner that this guy needs to be a freaking stud. I'm not going to be greedy and say he has to be a superstar, has to be an X Factor, has to even be a hidden depth. But this guy here needs to be like 70s, high 70s, 77, 78 minimum. Dev trade would be nice. Let's go. Looks like a stud. So next, going to keep our draft pick this year. We traded a lot next year's draft. So best player available, even though we went after Chris Olave, is probably this guy, Tony Childress. A catching traffic, B deep, running at 6'4", 230 pounds, running a 4.43, has elite jumping, elite strength. I'll bite. Take a look at our draft recap. Very happy with my top 2 picks. Holy shit. Brandon Webb, 81, hidden dev. Let's go. Even better than I could have expected. Insane player, dude. 6'2", 93 speed, 94 acceleration, 84 man, 81 press with the boost, 70. Just a complete player. 92 jumping, can hit. That's awesome. Absolutely. And then we just got Childress fell into our lap here. 75, scheme fit, just gigantic human being, outstanding traits. We got a 74 tight end McAllister, 74 normal dev, just some depth behind Evan Ingram, who's getting up there in age a little bit. He's no young man anymore, but that's what you need. That's why you trade. That's why you get your guys. You find a guy, you get your guy. So let's get a little preview of our roster going into year number 4. I'll tell you right now, I got a sneak peek, obviously, at the potential dev traits. And no red boys to talk about, but that doesn't mean they can still be superstar. So we got that hope for Childress. Push him up the depth chart here just a little bit. But big expectations, Chris Olave now to come in and be our wide receiver 1. And maybe pressure's on Travis Etienne to get back to that superstar level that he was for most of the rebuild. Rest of the offense, is Darsaw, AVT, Peter, Scherf, and Harrison make up a very good offensive line. Evan Ingram has been maybe one of the surprises of this rebuild. Tight end has been eating in this Jags offense. On the defensive side, front 3 has gone some ups and downs. We got absolutely robbed of Miner's superstar dev trait last year. But, is what it is. Not necessarily, maybe if we're hurting and on a string of rebuilds where we haven't won a Super Bowl, I might have been like, you know what, I'm not letting my rookie use this dev trait. And I would have gave him back his superstar, which is something that I usually kind of do, but not always. But again, we're embracing the challenges of the dev traits going up and down, even though I think it should be an unwritten rule that rookies don't lose devs. We're going to let Miner use that motivation to put forth a great season. Rest of the front 7, we got X Factor and Allen, X Factor and Olakun, who's been a pick machine, Devin Lloyd and Travon Walker. Johnson and Cisco make a really nice safety duo with Campbell, Webb, might be you don't have to be an X Factor. That's a superstar. If he's an 81 superstar rookie, that definitely gets into the area code. You're in the neighborhood of talking about a generational player. I'd love to see that. And we have Northrop here, who also has that superstar dev. So no real weakness whatsoever on this team. I just want to see a little bit of consistency and maybe get a little bit of postseason success here in year 4. Alrighty, midway point of year 4, and we're only a game back. 5-5, still probably not where we want to be, but it's where we're at. Let's take a look at some player contracts here. It's going to be expensive. We don't have a lot of money, so we're going to have to be diligent and make sure we make the right calls here. So up first, I think the most important player, most valuable player is probably going to be Antonio Johnson, so we'll get him locked in on a 4-year deal, $42 million remaining. We got Travon Walker, who did lose his dev trait, but he's been solid, and you can't really expect to be a contender and let that leave the building. All things considered, I think if we can get Scherf on that 1-year deal, $8 million is somewhat reasonable. So I think we will move on from Calvin Ridley. Helps that we did draft a hidden dev wide receiver that could step up if need be. But I think we bump up Travon Walker's contract, get that one over the line, and then whatever scrap money we got for the offseason, we'll see what we can do with that to maximize it. All right, well, you know what? We were 5-5. Ended up playing well down the stretch. 10-7, tied for first, but we stand at the end of 4 years of this rebuild with 0 divisional titles, which is, I think all things considered, kind of underperforming. But we have an opportunity here, at least go run the gauntlet here in the playoffs. 4,700 yards, 39 touchdowns for T-Law. Very respectable. 1,400 yards, 12 touchdowns for ETN. Evan, man, tight ends. Holy shit. Good year from Kirk. Chris Olave, first year in Jacksonville, 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. I mean, we're really 4 deep at the wide receiver spot. But you're kind of seeing why we're not really going to rush to pay Calvin Ridley. On the defensive side, well, the familiar faces getting tackles. This is actually the first time I think Devin Lloyd has actually finished ahead of Olukun for team tackles. 18.5 sacks for Josh Allen, 11 sacks on 22 TFLs for Travon Walker. Bennett with a really nice year, 20 TFLs, 8.5 sacks. Interceptions not the best. Man, Josh Allen, what a year, man. Might be defensive player of the season. All things considered, all things equal. Yearly awards MVP goes to Joe Burrow. Nothing there for us. In the AFC Offensive Player, go Nick Chubb, Defensive Player, Trey Hendrick. Ah, come on, man. Give me something. Well, the corner we traded for is Defensive Rookie of the Year. So I'm going to be optimistic that that dev trait was superstar. Actually, I haven't even checked yet. But either way, there should be a dev trait increase underway for him. Let's go get a peek at what that dev was, though. 81 hidden dev out the gate. It's rare. I would say it's almost uncommon for an 81 player to be a star dev. But you never know. And he's superstar, so there's a chance. Not automatic, but there's going to be a chance that he gets an X Factor off of that Defensive Rookie of the Year award, which is going to be great momentum for this squad going into year 5, especially because we're not going to be able to get that one key free agent probably that can push us over the hump because we're just not going to have the money to do so. So in the opening round here of the year 4 of this 5-year rebuild playoffs, we got the Buffalo Bills, who we've already dusted for. I think that was our first year in the playoffs. The Bills knocked us out in the first round. But there we go, a big-time playoff victory, low-scoring game, which Trevor Lawrence protected the football. And I guess our defense did work. 2.5 sacks, Josh Allen, and 2 TFLs. Sack and a half, Walker, Lloyd, Bennett, and Minor. Oh, with sacks. That is the deciding factor. And we got a motivated Josh Allen. Feels like he's disrespected that he didn't get Defensive Player of the Year. So he's going to go prove everybody wrong. Hopefully he can do it in the second round here against the Chargers. And he does, but it's our offense that shows up. Dropping 42, and we make the NFC Championship. I'm not going to say it's a surprising run here because our team's very good. We should be playing this well. But it's kind of coming out of nowhere after a bunch of postseason struggles. 2 touchdowns, no picks for T-Law. Huge game from ETN, 146 yards, 3 touchdowns. Let's freaking go. Defensively, Devin Lloyd, tackle machine, Josh Allen, Hamilton, and Bennett with some sacks. And just like that, in year 4, fellas, in the AFC Championship game, a rivalry matchup between us and the Colts, and actually an NFC East battle on the NFC side. So let's see, can we make the Super Bowl here in year 4? Doug Peterson works his magic. 35-21. Joe, fucking Cowboys in the Super Bowl. No. That's cool. I didn't do that. I didn't plan that. Anthony Richardson actually ended up in Indianapolis. Cool. Trevor Lawrence, outstanding. His best game. Biggest moment, brightest lights. T-Law, 335, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Olave went off. Evan Ingram's been a god in this rebuild. Josh Allen has got a sack a game. Cisco and Johnson are 2 safeties getting interceptions. And baby, year 4, would love to be playing with house money going into year 5. Let's get this Super Bowl year 4 so that if we crash and burn year 5, it's not the end of the world. Still goes down as a successful rebuild. It is going to be the 10-7 Jags against the 12-5 Dallas Cowboys. 92 overall Jags, 87 overall Cowboys. We don't got the playbook. They do. They're the number 2 defense in the NFL, but they don't got the heart. They don't got Doug Peterson. Let's go. A little bit of a morale hit going into the Super Bowl. Brandon Webb wins Defensive Rookie of the Year and unfortunately did not get the dev trait. It's not always a guarantee. But actually, you know what? Hasn't even counted yet? No, there we go. Yeah, 6,000 XP. Didn't get a dev. All right, first opportunity, hopefully not the last, to bring a Super Bowl title to Duval. See what we can do here, man. It's Dallas Cowboys. Extra motivation, just hate losing to Dallas. We get the first touchdown of the game, but you know they're not going to go away. We got to put them away. We miss, like that right there. Why are we missing extra fucking points? Why? Luckily, our defense put a touchdown shutout in the first half, holding Dallas to 3 straight field goals. I'm feeling pretty good, but also it's Dallas. You know, I can see them get like 3 straight touchdowns in the fourth. But look at that, things you love to see, man. Doug Peterson owning Dallas again, and the Dougler is going to get his second Super Bowl ring in year 4, a chance to turn this into a little bit of a dynasty to win a Super Bowl year 4 and year 5. But congratulations, Trevor Lawrence. He's shocked. He got that YouTuber O-face thumbnail picture going on there. Respect that. And man, we did this the right way. This actually has been a rebuild that's been mostly keeping the guys under contract, developing the players already on the roster. Haven't been spending big in free agency. We got what? Chris Olave, my left-hand side of the offensive line. Like, that's pretty much it. Everything else has been homegrown. And I think all things considered, pretty damn happy with that. Pretty happy with where we're at. Let's see this. Hoist that Super Bowl. But don't get too overconfident. We got one more year to run it back. Why are they all so shiny? Look at that. Football Jesus. What's his nickname at Clemson? Congratulate and give him the Super Bowl MVP. 4 touchdowns for T-Law. Kicked the shit out of the Cowboys. Surprise, surprise. Dak was ass in a big game. The offseason, we got an influx of salary cap. I knew something happened. And Brandon Schriff, our superstar right guard, retires. That gives us something to deal with. So for our final free agency period, again, because we're playing with health money, I don't want to go super crazy and sign like Derwin James or Roquan Smith or anything like that. Because always, you know, you don't want to kind of keep as much of a resemblance of the original roster as we can. So let's just see if the guys that we got can run it back. And with that extra money that we get, so we are going to spend to get the replacement for Brandon Schriff here in James Daniels, 86 star dev at right guard. I'm going to bring back Calvin Ridley. Why not keep the gang here together as long as we can and run it back and win that second Super Bowl. We didn't have first or second round picks this draft, so we just straight up simmed it out and showed to the computer for fun. And that's a nice little backup running back, Justin Pinkins out of Syracuse, hidden dev power back. And as we look to defend our Super Bowl title, here we go for our 5th and final year. T-Law 96 has a chance to get 99 club, which would be cool. I don't know. If ETN still had his superstar, maybe you'd have a chance to get the 99 club, but he's been awesome. We got Chris Olave, Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley as our big premier players. But I mean, let's be honest, our premier wide receiver for this rebuild has been Evan Ingram at tight end, 92 X Factor. Anton Harrison up to an 86. We got Daniels replacing Brendan Schriff. Peters at 82, AVT, and Darrisaw, our free agency left-hand blindside investment right there. The security team, security firm, obviously very high-level players. Overall, great offense. On the defensive side, Bennett up to a superstar, which is very, very nice for that front 3 that has been all homegrown, drafted, and developed. Front 7, we got Allen, Olukun, Devin Lloyd, and Travon Walker back up to a superstar. We did lose the X factor on Olukun, but, I'm not overly worried. Still a really, really nice player. We did actually also lose the superstar on Antonio Johnson. He's been really, really solid for us. I mean, whatever. He was expected to be one of the top safety picks in the 2022 draft. I believe he fell to the 5th round. So I think he's really, really good value for a player with unique traits, unique length at that position. So he's been very good for us, as well as Cisco. And we got Campbell, Northrup, and Webb giving us one of the best secondaries in the NFL. I think we have all the pieces, the perfect combination to run it back and win 2 straight Super Bowls to finish this one out. And then in year 5, the last thing to really tick off our list, AFC South title. Kind of ran away with the division here this year with a 13-4 record. We have the number 2 offense, number 6 defense in the NFL. Team is firing on all cylinders. We know the big picture here. Of course, we got no money up there, but it's fine because it's a team effort. We don't need to rely on star talent. Our whole team is full of stars. 4,500 yards, 37 touchdowns for Trevor Lawrence. 1,400 yards, 17 touchdowns for Travis Etienne. Olave with a great season. 114 catches, 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns. 11-8 for Ingram. 9-10 for Christian Kirk. Really with a solid year. But hey, you know what? If you want an offense that feeds the tight ends, like honestly, if you're doing something like with the Atlanta Falcons and you want to utilize Kyle Pitts, go with the Falcons offense, man. The tight end production here, as my controller dies, unprofessional bullshit. Tight end production here at Jacksonville was amazing. All right, we're back. On the defensive side of the Olukun, great season. Lloyd, great season. On the sacks front, 12 sacks. Travon Walker, 7.5 for Hamilton, 7 for Josh Allen, So, man, just one thing that's definitely weird is Josh Allen has zero consistency. It's 18 sacks, next year 7 sacks. 18 sacks, 7 sacks. So, not my favorite defense that we've had, but still pretty good. Tyson Campbell leads the team with 3 interceptions. Yearly awards, Bobby Mann wins MVP for the Philadelphia Eagles. Quickly looking for some Jacksonville Jaguars. And we get absolutely nothing. But to kind of give us a little bit of high note, let's look at the career stats. Through 5 years with the Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence is at 31,000 yards passing, 244 touchdowns, 89 interceptions. Generally speaking, I think he was as expected. You know, I don't know if I ever did this rebuild, started this rebuild with the idea that Trevor Lawrence is going to be like a perennial MVP favorite, but he's been on the list. He's the number 5 ranked quarterback in the NFL. So I think he's lived up to the billing, and he brought us to a Super Bowl. Won us a Super Bowl. Travis Etienne, very, very solid. Outside of really one off year, 8,200 yards rushing and 86 rushing touchdowns in 7 seasons. So that's just, you know, yeah, you're averaging, you average 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. That's pretty good. We got 9,700 yards, 75 touchdowns for Evan Ingram. Well, obviously did some of that with the New York Giants, but looking at what he's done since he's been here in Jacksonville. 1,000, just absolutely incredible. Might as well not even ever freaking played for the Giants. He is a Jags legend as we close this one. Christian Kirk, 9,600 yards, 73 touchdowns. Same for him. Did some of his with the Cardinals. Did most of that damage with us. 8,900 yards, 80 touchdowns for Ridley. 7,500 yards, Olave. Defensively, Olakun, 1 tackle shy of 1,000. Devin Lloyd, 3 tackles shy of 700. We had 85.5 sacks for Josh Allen on 84 TFLs. Trevon Walker, 70 TFLs, 61 sacks. Kind of a massive drop-off after those two. 22 picks for Olakun, 15 for Tyson Campbell, 8 from Cisco, 7 from Devin Lloyd. So generally speaking, pretty good rebuild, pretty good production. Happy with a lot of these numbers. Happy with the fact that we got a Super Bowl right now. But need to go do the goddamn thing here again. And it starts with a very tough matchup. Yes, we're a 94 overall team. Yes, as we kind of look big picture at all of our ratings, we're really good. 99 T-Law, 99 ETN. Defensively, we got 98 Trevon Walker, 95 Allen, 96 Tyson Campbell. Since he's not bad. Like if we, you know, that's a team that's like not super cheesy. Bengals generally aren't S tier, but like if they beat you, you're gonna respect it. You gotta just say, hey, what, they're a really, really good team. And look, we already kind of went into this game with the defeatist attitude, but I kind of read the white writing on the walls there, man. 94 overall team. 6th best defense, giving up 40 points in our first playoff game. It's pretty on brand at this point for Madden. And we just sit here hoping for some Madden 24 news. We get hit up on Reddit saying, C4, this is usually when we get Madden 24 news. I haven't heard shit. So, till that time, we're just going to keep on keeping on with the rebuilds. Working on maybe some old school flashback type stuff. But other than that, man, we're just chilling, having a good time, winning Super Bowls with the Jags, and then kind of having a wet fart to close it out. That's what we're doing. That's what we're in the business of doing. So thank you guys very much for tuning in to today's rebuild. As always, let me know in the comment section below if there's what team I haven't yet to do that you guys really want to see from the fallout of the 2023 NFL Draft. And I'll see you guys back here on the next one. Till then, C4, saying like, subscribe, all that cheesy YouTuber stuff. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out. Love ya. Have a good one.